Nicola, and this is Mabel. Say hello, Mabel. And here are our teddies. We're having a lazy afternoon. The sun's been out and the sky's nice and blue. But we was just thinking, I fancy a story. Do you? Well, actually, I was thinking about lazy animals. And I remembered a story about a family of lions that come from Barnsley. Would you like to hear it? Well, once upon a time, a very long time ago, there lived 4 lions. Here they are, look. Here's Daddy Lion. Here he is. And Mummy Lion. And we've got Morley the lion and Eden the lion. Now they all lived very happily in a place called Cannon Hall. They liked to roam around in the gardens. Now Daddy Lion, he was the biggest lion of all. He had a really big fluffy mane and he liked to roar really loudly. Can you roar? Roar, said Daddy Lion. He looked after all the animals in the parkland. Mummy Lion, oh, off you go, Mabel. Off she goes. Mummy Lion liked to stay indoors and keep the house nice and clean and tidy. She liked to do lots of cooking for when her children came home from school. She was always busy making things too. Eden Lion was a little lion who was always kind and she always did her best. She always liked to work hard at school and she always liked to play with her friends. Now Morley Lion, he was the youngest lion in the family. He liked to play hide and seek in the park, but he didn't always win. He also liked to play football too with all his friends. Now one day, Eden was walking down by the river and she saw Morley there. He looked really sad. Morley, what's wrong? Eden asked. I'm checking on my mane, he said. What do you mean you're checking on your mane? Well, said Morley, I should have got a mane by now. I'm almost 5 years old and it still hasn't grown. So he was looking in his reflection in the water and he was right. There was no mane. Well, don't be sad, said Eden. You might get a mane next year instead. I don't think so, said Morley. It's not happened yet, so I don't think it will happen then. Oh, come on, said Eden. Let's go and see if we can find our friends to play with. You need cheering up. Anyway, the next day, Eden spoke to her mummy and told her all about Morley wanting a mane. He wants to look just like Daddy, she said. Well, he doesn't need to worry about having a mane, said Mummy Lion. Yes, but he's really worried, Mummy. He really, really wants a mane. Later that day, Mummy had an idea. I know, she said. I'm going to knit Morley a lion's mane. It will be big and beautiful, just like his daddy's mane. So she got out her knitting needles and started to knit. Knit, knit, click, click, went the knitting needles. Soon the mane was finished. She couldn't wait to show Eden to see what she thought. Eden said, wow, Mummy, that's beautiful. Morley will love it. Then she said, there's just one thing, Mummy. Morley likes bright colours just like the rainbow. And it's just a creamy colour. It's not very bright, she said. I know, said Eden. I wonder if I could ask our friends in the park. Maybe they could help. I could see if they could bring different things from around the parkland and we could dye the mane and make it brightly coloured. So off Eden went to ask all her friends. Eden went and found all her friends and told them all about Morley wanting a mane and how sad he'd been. Please, can you help? Asked Eden. Of course we can, said her friends. Now, Barbara the bull went to see what she could find. She found some berries, bright red, and she brought those. Doris the dog found some beautiful yellow buttercups. Derek the donkey found some green leaves. Bob the bunny rabbit, guess what Bob found? You've got it, bright orange carrots. Now what they did, they popped all the things into a bucket and out came the colour from each of the items. This is perfect, said Eden. We can now get the paintbrush, dip them in and paint the mane for Morley the lion. He's going to be so happy. So that night, Eden and her mummy got to work. They pegged out the mane to dry and soon it was brightly coloured. The following day, Morley was down by the river looking at his reflection again. Oh, I do wish I had a mane, he cried. He could hear a noise from behind him. Morley, shouted his mummy. Hello, mummy. Oh, hello, daddy. Hello, Eden, said Morley. What do you have there, he asked. They were carrying a really big parcel with a big blue ribbon at the top. Oh, we have a surprise for you, Morley. For me, he asked. Yes, for you. Oh, Morley started to unwrap it. He was getting very excited indeed. He had no idea what it could be. He took off the ribbon and out popped this big, fluffy, colourful item. But what is it? He asked. It's a mane, said Eden. We know that you're so desperate to have a mane that Mummy has been busy knitting it for you, and then we've dyed it all the colours of the rainbow. Do you like it? Oh, Morley tried it on and thought it was marvellous. Daddy Lion said, oh, you just look like me, Morley. Big and strong and powerful. Can you roar like me? Roar, cried Morley. And roar, cried Daddy. They looked very grand indeed. Oh, I can't wait to show all my friends, said Morley. Come on, let's go and find them. So off they went into the parkland. Morley saw all his friends and couldn't wait to show off how beautiful he looked. All his friends were very excited to see the new Morley and his mane. They said, we need to have a party to celebrate. That evening they had a big party, and of course Morley was the star of the show with his bright, colourful mane. Well, what a story! I hope you enjoyed it, and maybe if you go down to Cannon Hall, just have a look to see if you can see any of the lions. Look out for Morley and Eden, you never know, they might just be there. Now, where did Mabel go? Did you see her? Oh, I'm going to have to go and find her. Oh, there you are, Mabel. I think it's time I took Mabel out for a walk. Anyway, I hope you've enjoyed today's story. It's been inspired by Elmer and all his colourful friends from the jungle. We have an Elmer exhibition at the Cooper Gallery in Barnsley. Why don't you come down and have a look? I hope to see you there. Bye for now.